What's up, everyone? This is Landman here with another episode of Cheeseheadz Weekly. We just came out of Week 5. The Packers were playing on Monday Night Football versus the Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. They did lose the game 13-17. Nice performance by the defense, not so much by the offense, and I will break that all down, get into my reactions. Before I do that, though, we have the Q&As and the polls on Spotify. There's a link in the description to send in a voice message of every episode, every platform. Check that out. It would be great to see some of those, some questions, especially the Packers head into the bye week. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, I do have a very busy week, but it would be cool to get some guests on the show, like maybe Robin and Troy, some Packers fans, to talk. Some things Packers need to improve on, whatever. If you have any questions, be sure to submit those. We can answer those on that episode, and that would be great. Make things a lot of fun. And even if I can't get guests on the show, I can answer them myself, and because I will be talking, a little bit overall view over the Packers' first 5 weeks as they head into their bye here in Week 6. The show is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Pandora. New episodes come out every single Tuesday. You can hit the bell icon on whatever platform allows that to get notified every single time a new episode is released. Tell your friends about the show. Rate the show on Spotify, and you can rate the show and review the show on Apple Podcasts. I would love to see that. You can follow the show on Instagram. I also have a channel on WhatsApp that I created. So if you have WhatsApp, you can join that. Check out the website, has all the episodes, all the different places you can get the show, where the show is, and we just got the show out on Apple Podcasts now. So the show is available pretty much anywhere you can get your podcasts. Without further ado, let's just dive right in. I'll be going over my players of the game here shortly. I did not watch this full game. I watched a little bit of the end. Was just in time to see Love's third interception of the game as they were trying to rally there right at the end of the fourth quarter. Was not pretty at all for the offense, and I think this is a great time to go into the bye week. Definitely some things need to be fixed. It just was not great. I will say this, as bad as it was, 2 of my bold predictions did come true. I post bold predictions. Lately, I've been going live before the game. Of course, it's kind of without warning, so you don't really know. But if you follow me on Instagram, I'll be going live, or at least posting a video clip, a reel, of me giving my 3 bold predictions for the week. This week, the one on offense was we get a big play from Christian Watson. You can check that off. We had a 77-yard grab from Christian Watson. Granted, it was a blown coverage, but looked really nice. Love rolling out, throwing back over, twisting his body, Rodgers-esque. Really, the throw wasn't even really on target. It's just that Watson was so wide open he could come back to the ball, snag it, and make a man miss. To be honest, I was surprised he did not get in the end zone. I don't know if if the hamstring is still slowing him down a little bit. He had some Raiders catch up to him that had a full head of steam. He had the juke guy out, was getting up to speed. He got horse collar tackle. For some reason, it was not called. Or at least I assume it was not. I thought there was a flag on the play. I only saw it in the highlights. I guess it wasn't called. It seemed like a big turning point. The Packers had to settle for a field goal there, and ended up being 17-13 when it could have been tied at 17. So, whatever, you can speculate. At any rate, the Packers really didn't deserve to win, especially on offense. Um, the way they played. My second bold prediction was, however, that the Packers defense, secondary, whatever, would hold Davante Adams to under 50 yards. They did. They held him to 4 catches for 45 yards. I consider that a huge success. Of course, um, they did allow a bunch of catches to Jacoby Myers, who was very involved in that game. They just targeted him instead of Adams. But overall, the defense did play very well, holding them to 17 points. I think overall, through the first 5 weeks, I think you have to be happy with where the defense is at. I don't think you can be too upset. Um, their one really bad performance came against the Lions, and the Lions are scoring a lot of points against pretty much any defense right now. The numbers don't all look great for the Packers defense. I think they're actually playing really well though, and hopefully they can keep that up and maybe even improve more. And I'll get into my players of the game. Um, so as far as how the game went, on offense, it was pretty bad. They did get a little bit of a run game going with A.J. Dillon. Aaron Jones was not out there. They're hoping he can play after the bye week. I'm not sure if he had a setback or if they just wanted to hold him out. I'm pretty sure they just held him out, which isn't a bad idea as long as you can get him back to full strength and actually give him some carries. But A.J. Dillon did actually, his average was only 3.8 a carry, but he looked a lot better than other nights, and the Packers actually felt comfortable giving him the ball. They gave him 20 carries for 76 yards and a score. So a lot better from A.J. Dillon, and they were able to establish the run game, but that still did not do a thing, and the Raiders' defense looked like an amazing defense, even though through the first 4 weeks they have not been a good defense at all. And definitely some things need to change. I don't know if it's play calling or if it's Jordan Love. I think definitely I think it's a little bit of both actually. Um, Rodgers told fans after the game to just relax. I don't actually know what his direct quote is. I'll see if I can get that here. He says, "Take some deep breaths and trust Jordan Love." I like that from Rodgers. Still putting some trust in there. I think Jair Alexander was a little bit frustrated after the game. Kind of put the offense on notice. You know what? I don't have a huge problem with it. I think, yeah, I think Matt LaFleur needs to step it up. I think Jordan Love needs to step it up. I think maybe some of the young receivers need to step it up a little bit, but I think it's mainly on Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur at the moment. Interesting, on Instagram, a I saw some polls, two polls. I actually forget how exactly they were worded. The one was, is Matt LaFleur on the hot seat, basically, and yes or no. I voted no, and actually 56% had voted yes. So slight majority said yes, and then there was a question, something to the effect of, is Jordan Love the real deal? Or I actually forget how it was. It might be kind of hard to find it at this point. But is he gonna be? Is he done in Green Bay? Is he gonna be good? 76% voted that he would be okay, that he's gonna be good for the Packers. So it seems like the fans are more on Jordan Love's side, not as much on Matt LaFleur's side, which I find interesting. Obviously, I'm all for both of them. But I do think things need to change for sure, and I think this is a great. That's why I think this is a great time for the bye week. Yeah, they can really sit down, look at the film, figure out what they need to change with the play calling, with whatever timing of the routes. I think Jordan Love's accuracy needs to get a lot better. Um, he's not been accurate down the field. He likes to push it down the field, but they have not been good on deep passes. If they could find success down the field, and I think they could, they have the talent of guys getting open down the field. Luke Musgrave, Christian Watson, Romeo Dobbs, even Jaden Reed. Um, I have a lot of talent that I think, their downfield passing could be really good, but we need some accuracy. And yeah, Jordan Love, I think having a week to rest, to just sit down, just kind of look at it instead of just being out there, having to make flash decisions, sit back, just take a breather, be able to look at everything and come back out stronger. Just kind of learn this week. I think that's great, and so I'm excited to see what they can do. They have um, a better matchup. Of course, I thought this was going to be a great game too, against the Raiders, but they do play the Broncos next, whose defense is not good. They got 70 points put on them by the Dolphins earlier in the season, and I think that's a great team to kind of bounce back with. For the offense to have a bounce back performance. Defense should be able to stop Russell Wilson and company as well. We'll see, but I'm kind of excited for what the future holds. Still, I don't think it's going to get a whole lot worse than this. If anything, I think it will get better. I hope it gets better, and that's kind of what you got to expect. You got to expect the losses. Just lower the expectations, and like Roger said, take some deep breaths. Trust Jordan Love. Trust Matt LaFleur, if I can add that in there, and I think we can see some improvement. This is still a very young team, especially on offense. You're going to see lots of this throughout the season. This is what you're going to see, and there's going to be some losses. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose twice to the Vikings, even though the Vikings have not won a game yet, to my knowledge. And are currently without Justin Jefferson. Packers likely will not face Justin Jefferson, as he is going to be out quite a few weeks, likely with hamstring injury. Without further ado, I guess I'll get into my players of the game. I don't have a whole lot more to say, although I guess I could bring up Love's stats here. Not a great game, not great stats to put up. I'd say probably his worst game so far in the season, which is why I think it's good that they can step back for a week and kind of really just look at everything. He was 16 for 30, again, low completion percentage, 182 yards, no touchdowns, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, 32.2 was his passer rating, which is not good. But as far as the Packers, I think, did quite well against Jimmy Garoppolo. Garoppolo took 3 sacks through interception. He didn't look great either, but his stats at least were better than Love's. I think he was overall a little better than Love. Completion percentage was certainly a lot better. Packers stopped the run. They were up against Josh Jacobs, and Josh Jacobs, he did get a 24-yard run. That was about it. A.J. Dillon actually was the better running back in this game. Both had 20 carries. Jacobs had 69 yards. Dillon had 76, and he will lead off my offensive players of the game. A.J. Dillon will. A nice game by him. Obviously, I'm not... still not really excited about him and his future with Green Bay, but that was certainly a good bounce back, I guess you could say. I'd love to see it more often. I'd love to see him get even better than this, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. It'd be great if he could be good because that'll help the running game, especially when Jones isn't around, and that could be a good bit. They might not want to give him a lot of carries. I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but we'll see. I don't. That wasn't really a bad move. I don't think Aaron Jones was gonna really help him in this game. Although actually, it is possible he does, but I don't know. It's tough to know. He could have broke away and just opened this game wide open for the Packers offense. I don't think he would have. And I kind of like the decision to hold him out, give him the extra bye week then to rest. Yeah. So that's my number one player of the game, A.J. Dillon. Number two, I'm going to put an offensive lineman, Zach Tom, in here. He did allow 4 hurries, but he was good enough. And I mean, it's kind of slim pickings here for the offense. Um, I don't know. I think for number three, I'm going to go tight end Ben Sims. I thought about going Luke Musgrave. He was solid. Caught 6 passes, but nothing flashy. I expect that from Musgrave. I think there would be more if Love would be able to dial it in there and be able to hit some deep ones to him. He missed on a few of those early in the season. But I'm going to put tight end Ben Sims. He's like, what, the fourth tight end technically on the depth chart, but he's been a good ad for the Packers. He's actually seen some significant playing time. He had a target. He caught it. He forced a missed tackle and gained a first down right down the sideline. Looked pretty slick, you know. He just stiff armed the guy to the ground and just turned upfield. Looked like, yeah, showed a little bit of burst there. Got the first down right down the sideline. Very nice. He was the team's highest graded run blocker as well. He did allow a sack. Other than that, a very nice grade from PFF, and I like what I saw from him. And speaking of which, Josiah DeGuara was pretty good as well as a tight end, so it's good to have some good run blocking. DeGuara was their second highest graded run blocker, so there's two guys can really run block, and I love to see that. Let's go to my defensive players of the game. Number one is Rasul Douglas. He had a 90.9 PFF grade, which is an elite grade. He made 5 tackles, did not miss one, broke up 2 passes, allowed only 2 catches for 11 yards, and played 64 total snaps. Really, really impressive performance from Rasul Douglas. Number two is safety Rudy Ford. His second straight week of being in here, and you know what? Because in the second straight week he had another interception and had 3 stops, didn't have a missed tackle. Rudy Ford's playing great. Darnell Savage did get injured in this one, so we definitely need him to step up, and he has looked fantastic, especially the last 2 weeks here. As their second safety at a position that we thought would be a weak point, but Rudy Ford, somewhat quiet during the summer, but like towards the end of last season, he's really come on again and producing interceptions, just flying around, looking really good, and love to see it from Rudy Ford. So I guess that's it. I will mention I did have a special teams bold prediction that Keyshawn Nixon would finally get a good return. He never had a kick return, had one punt return for 2 yards, so that one did not come true, obviously. So I guess that will pretty much wrap things up for this episode. A little bit of a shorter episode, but hopefully we'll be able to talk more about the Packers, answer some of your questions if you send in a voice message. In the description of every single episode, and you can also, send me, comment on a post on Instagram, send me a message on Instagram, whatever. Email me, however you feel led to contact me with a question, whatever. Be sure to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Rate the show on Spotify. Check out the Q&As and the polls on Spotify. Participate in those. Those are a lot of fun. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Hopefully we can get a guest or two on the show. If not, it'll be just me, but we'll still talk Packers, what they need to improve, their outlook for the rest of the season, and what I saw through the first 5 weeks of the season for the Packers. That's all for today. I'll talk to you next week, next Tuesday. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Go Pack, go.